All right. So let me just get started. We are going to have Aditya and Varun perform Bala Gopala Palaya. It is in Ragam Bhairavi, Talam Adi. The composer is Muthuswami Dikshidhar. And if you look at the song as such, what it is about, the song talks about the childhood pastimes of Krishna. Basically, Dikshidhar calls out to Balagopala seeking protection, and then it is describing Krishna's qualities and pastimes. We all know Krishna is the beloved of the cowherd damsels of Vrindavan. So this composition also talks about that fact. And he is also being addressed as Damodara here, being tied by the rope of Yashoda. And Guru Guha is the mudra of Dikshidhar composition. So with that, we are going to get started with the song Bala Gopala Palaya. Just to kind of introduce the performers, the song is going to be sung by Aditya, who's 14 years old, and he's going to go to high school. He's a disciple of Vidwan Pramod Gokhale, and he's accompanied by Varun on Mridangam. And Varun is learning Mridangam from Vidwan Sunil Subramaniam. So with that, we can get started. Hare Krishna. Aditya? Seshadri? Are they not able to unmute?
No. Good. But that's good.
sorry. It looks like we are having streaming issues, at least with internet connectivity here at our place. Really sorry about it. Thank you, Ma, for calling and letting us know. I think Aditya will resume. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there. You're supposed to be there. Yeah. No. Yes. No. Didn't we see you? Okay. Balagopala Balaya
Thank you, Aditya and Varun. Aditya, that was a very nice Bhairavi, and we really enjoyed the Kriti of Muthuswami Dikshitar. And thanks to you, Varun, for your percussion support. Wonderful, that was wonderful. And this Kriti has kick-started our 76th Adi Masa Mahotsavam of Sri Ramakrishna Bhajana Sabha of Udumalpet. Welcome to you all for that. Shriman Venkatanatharya Kavitakika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidattam Sadakriti Shyamam Indu Mukhara Vindanayanam Mandasmitam Sundaram Gopalam Suravenu Natha Nipunam Govardhanodharanam Sarva Srishti Vidana Karanakaram Devadi Devam Vibhum Vande Bhakta Janartihara Varadam Shri Rukmani Vallabham. நமஸ்காரம். உடுமலை ஸ்ரீ ராமகிருஷ்ண பஜன சபாவின் 76வது ஆடி மாச மகோத்சவத்திற்கு தங்கள் அனைவரையும் வருக வருக என்று அன்புடன் வரவேற்கிறோம். ஸ்ரீ ராமகிருஷ்ண பஜன சபா was founded in 1947 by Bhakti Ratna Shri V. Srinivasan Iyengar. Since then, numerous upanyasams, nama sankirtanams and various discourses were organized by the Sabha in Udumalpet. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to the first day of this year's, that is the 76th Adi Masam Upanyasa Mahotsavam. Fortunately, today happens to be the Avatara day of Sri Andal, that is Tiruvadipuram, which is a great festival which we all have celebrated in India today. In order to cater to the global Astikas, we are organizing this festival in hybrid mode. Today and tomorrow, we would have lectures online. From the 24th to 26th of July, Obaya Vedanta, Dushin Sridharji will render his lectures in Udumalpet, and from 27th to 29th of July, Dr. Venkatesh, Obaya Vedanta, Dr. Venkatesh will perform live at Ramayar Kalyana Mantapam, Udumalpet. We urge Bhaktas to extend their support to all the events held both online and offline. This evening, we are about to listen to a discourse in English to be rendered by Srimati Radhika Kasturi, a young, devoted Upanyasakar from USA. Srimati Radhika is into IT audit management by profession. She is a granddaughter of Bhakti Ratna Udumalpet V. Srinivasan Iyengar, a renowned patron of Nama Sankirtanam and Upanyasams. Radhika has taken spiritual initiation or Diksha from Srivan Shatakopa Sri Ranganatha Yatindra Mahadeshikan, who is the 46th Arage singer of Ahobilamat. She is currently being formally trained in Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, Esopanishad, and other scriptures in a structured fashion. She is a holder of Bhakti Shastra degree, certified by the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. She has experience in rendering Upanyasams in English to a varied audience, including adults, children, and youth. Srimati Kasturi has given lectures on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other topics for audience from various locations across USA, Kenya, and India. We are delighted to have such an enthusiastic and accomplished speaker with us this evening. Lord Sri Krishna is an enigma, an enchanter. His childhood pranks or Lilas are inscrutable and are fondly remembered even today. One of them is Akrura Lila. Akrura was Krishna's uncle but served Kamsa in Mathura. He was a very blissful soul that he had experienced Sri Krishna's Sanidhya. Andal recollects Akrura's journey from Mathura to Vrindavan in her 8th Pasuram of Tirupavai, thus, Ovan, Ohindrare, Ohamal Kathu. That trip itself was so fulfilling. Let us now get started to immerse in the soul-stirring Leela of Lord Krishna, Akrura Lila. Let us all mute our audio and video and enjoy the nectar of Bhagavatam to be told by Srimati Radhika Kasturi. We shall interact with the speaker at the end of the program. Thank you. Over to you, Radhika. Namaskar.
Thank you, Chitraka. Really appreciate that. And I'll get started now. Ramanujataya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimat Venkatanathaaryam Vande Vedanta Desikam Lakshminada Samarambam Nadayamuna Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityam Achyuta Padambuja Yukma Rukma Vyamoha Tatitarani Trinaya Mene Asmat Gurur Bhagavatosya Taika Sintoho Ramanujasya Sharanam Sharanam Prapatye Mata Pita Yuvatayasthanaya Vibhuti Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena Matanvayanam Atyasya Nat Kulapatervakulapi Ramam Srimattatankri Pranamami Murtna Bhutam Sarascha Mahadak Vayabhattanada Shri Bhakti Sara Kulasekara Yogi Vahan Bhaktank Grirenu Parakala Yatindriya Mishram Srimat Parankusha Munim Pranadosmi Nityam Shri Krishna Bhakta Variantam Srimad Bhagavata Priyam Shri Krishna Preme Mitram Cha Shri Srinivacharyam Ashraye Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Shrinvata Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayanta Sogi Abhadrani Vidunoti Subritsatam Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Before I start my lecture, I want to bow to the lotus feet of all Vaishnavas, taking your blessings and speaking this Krishna Katha of Akrura Krishna Katha. Vancha kalpa tarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I want to express my gratitude to thank Appa and Ramakrishna Bhajana Sabha for allowing me to talk on this topic of Krishna's Akrura Lila. And this auspicious month of Adi, we are celebrating the 76th year, and I'm blessed to be a part of this great endeavor. Hare Krishna. Again, today we are going to see the commentary given by ISKCON founder Acharya, His Grace, Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Akrura, hope my voice is audible, everything is clear. Hope the internet is not breaking. If so, kindly let me know. We are having some issues here. But anyways, let's get started to this Akrura Lila. Akrura is actually a very exceptional personality. He's the uncle of Krishna. He was working under Kamsa in the hopes that he would see Krishna one day. Again, Srimad Bhagavatam states, some of the chief devotees such as Akrura stayed with Kamsa to satisfy him. They did this for various purposes. They expected that, Krishna is going to appear as the 8th child of Devaki, and all other children, they were all killed by Kamsa, and they were all eagerly awaiting for Krishna's appearance. So they remained in Kamsa's association so that they would be able to see Krishna taking birth and displaying his childhood pastimes. And then there was also a feeling that Akrura would later go to Vrindavan to bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So some devotees, they wanted to stay near Kamsa in order to see all the pastimes of the Lord. This is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.4. Now, we are going to get into the story, dear devotees. I want you all to relish and enjoy the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. And, we are going to go on this journey of Akrura. So Kamsa, we have to understand the characters here. we are going to have Kamsa, we are going to see Akrura, and then Krishna and Balaram. These are going to be the characters that we are going to see in this Katha. Obviously, Kamsa, we all know he's a demoniac person, and he called Akrura. He spoke to Akrura and said, "My dear Akrura, please see, we have so many enemies in this world, and I want to get rid of these enemies so that all the thorns of our path will be removed, and I'll be able to enjoy the sovereignty of the whole planet without any impediments. I don't want to have any impediments. These people who are there as thorns, they should be removed. So my dear Akrura, please do a friendly favor for me. You know what I want you to do? You go to Vrindavan and bring back Krishna and Balaram." Again, we all understand the demons have a very diplomatic mentality for fulfilling their own needs. So Akrura was called for a specific reason by Kamsa. Now, we have to understand, Kamsa is again, buttering Akrura. He's saying, "Akrura, I'm depending on you just as Indra, the king of heaven, dependent on Vishnu for fulfilling his objectives. So what do? You please go to Nanda's village, which is Nandagram. Go to Nandagram, where the two sons of Vasudeva are there. Just bring them back in the chariot that I give you." Now, our Acharya, they mention a very important point here. Kamsa is referring to a splendid new chariot that he prepared for Akrura. Probably Kamsa felt, oh, if I give this new chariot to Akrura, probably he'll be inspired to ride that chariot and go and pick up Krishna and Balaram. But of course, we all know Akrura. Akrura was not tempted by these reasons. Akrura knew, I have, if I'm going to take a second-hand chariot to bring Krishna, that is not going to be great, because I can't give Kamsa's prasad to Krishna. Krishna has to be the first one to use the chariot. So Akrura agreed, not so much because he was afraid of Kamsa or something, but he was really eager to see Krishna. He was eager to go to Vrindavan and see Krishna. This was the reason he accepted to Kamsa's proposal. He's been longing for this, isn't it? That is why he's working under Kamsa. And Akrura said, all right, Kamsa. And Kamsa, he revealed his plan now to Akrura. A very interesting episode. Kamsa said, when you bring Krishna and Balaram here on the pretext of bow sacrifice called Dhanuryajna, I'm going to have them killed by an elephant called Kuvaliya Pida. So his name is Kuvaliya Pida. And if somehow Krishna and Balaram survive, then he will come to the wrestling arena where my champion wrestlers like Chanura and Mushtika will have a wrestling competition with Krishna and Balaram. And of course, they will easily defeat and kill Krishna and Balaram. And then all the thorns in my path will be destroyed because, after Krishna and Balaram are killed, what am I going to do? I'm going to kill my father Ugrasen. I'm going to kill his brother Devaka, who's the father of Devaki. And I'm also going to kill all the members of the Yadu dynasties and the Bhojas. This is my plan, so that there is going to be no further impediments on my path. Then what I'm going to do? I will strike a partnership with several others who are favorable to me, like Jarasandha. Jarasandha was Kamsa's father-in-law. So he had plans like this in his mind. Then he said, please, my dear friend Akrura, you go and bring Krishna and Balaram, from Vrindavan. So Akrura was looking forward to this. He was waiting for this opportunity. He understood Kamsa is a very demoniac person, and demoniac people always have this thought of killing others and ruining others' lives. So now that you understand my intentions, Akrura, please go at once and bring Krishna and Balaram from Vrindavan. So Akrura said, my dear king, you have expertly devised a process to get rid of all the impediments in your path. Okay, you have expertly done that. It is certainly destiny that produces results of one's own work. He wants to tell Kamsa, don't unnecessarily endeavor to change the destiny. He wanted to tell Kamsa indirectly, don't bother about all this. Don't bother about killing Krishna, Balaram and all of them. It's not going to happen. So then he was thinking to himself, he wanted to indirectly tell Kamsa, don't bother about it. But anyways, he thought, it's good you're proposing me to go to Vrindavan. I get a chance to meet Krishna and Balaram, so it's okay with me. But your plans about becoming the emperor and so on and so forth, protecting yourself and killing everybody, it's like pie in the sky. There is no pie in the sky, right? Some people say there's flower in the sky. Of course, there is no flower in the sky. It doesn't exist. Can you see flower in the sky or castle in the sky? It's just an illusion. So Kamsa's conviction that he would kill Krishna and Balaram and all others favored by Krishna and Balaram, including his father, and then he would become the Lord, was just an illusion. Your plan is not going to be fit to be executed. It's not going to be fit. Just because I'm your subject, I'm following the orders of you, my dear master. And of course, this is what Akrura said to Kamsa. And then he said, in his mind, he was thinking, I'll get to see Krishna, I'll get to see Krishna. In this way, Akrura agreed and retired to his quarters. And now we begin the 38th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, titled Akrura's Arrival to Vrindavan. In this chapter, we are going to see how Akrura followed Kamsa's instruction and goes from Mathura to Vrindavan to bring him. This 38th chapter discusses the journey of Akrura. So next morning, a beautiful chariot, a brand new chariot, is just in front of Akrura's house. So this whole chapter is going to describe the feelings of Akrura. So as Akrura left for Vrindavan, on his way, he was absorbed in intense meditation of the Supreme Lord Krishna. He was in complete ecstasy. This is the feeling of a pure devotee. When he is about to take darshan of a Lord, what all feelings and what all sentiments the devotee feels, it will be exhibited through this chapter. This is again after long separation that he is going to see Krishna and Balaram. So this chapter is going to describe in very graphic details the eagerness which a devotee has towards the Lord. And this chapter is also going to describe the arrival of Akrura in Vrindavan and how he was welcomed by Krishna and Balaram and all other Brajavasis. So this is what this chapter is all about. Imagine, if you're going to get darshan of Supreme Lord, what all moments of ecstasy would you be having, or would you rather be feeling? That is shown by Akrura in this chapter. So let's get started, dear devotees, and go with Akrura and enjoy this journey. And again, we understand Akrura was chosen as an instrument to take Krishna away from Vrindavan. And we can understand he is a very special person. So Akrura is now very eager to go to Vrindavan. He is not fearful at all. If he is going to bring Krishna or Balaram back to Mathura, is he going to be killed by Kamsa? No, he's not fearful about that, because he knows Krishna is the Supreme Lord and he is the most powerful person and he will easily kill Kamsa. So he knows this. So he is not at all fearful. Now, the first verse of the 38th chapter, 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shri Sukha Uvacha Akruropi Chatam Ratrim Madhupurya Mahamatihi Uchitva Ratamastaya Prayayau Nanda Gokulam. Now, Akrura is getting ready. He sits on the chariot and he departs where? He's departing to Vrindavan. As he is traveling, what is happening? So he started off, a point to be noted here, dear devotees. He started off in the morning, but he's reaching in the evening. Again, for those of you who have traveled from Mathura to Vrindavan or Vrindavan to Mathura, how long does it take? Maximum 1 hour. That's all it takes. But for Akrura, how long did it take? He started out on morning and reached in the evening. And he wasn't walking, right? He was not at all walking. He had a chariot, that too a brand new chariot with horses. So they could go pretty fast. So why did this Akrura start in the morning and only reach in the evening? Why? Because he was thinking of Krishna. What happened? When he was traveling, he was just thinking of Krishna. He lost his way. He didn't know what he was doing. He knew, okay, I have to go to Vrindavan. But in the process, what happened? He became ecstatic. He became absorbed in the transcendental pastimes of Krishna and he started meditating upon it. and then constantly thinking about Krishna, what would happen to him when he reaches Vrindavan, how Krishna is going to deal with him, and what he is going to go to, what is he going to do to Krishna and Balaram. So in this way, he was just absorbed in so many thoughts, and he lost his way. Some point after meditating about the Lord, he would see his horses are moving here and there and here and there and everywhere. Then what he would do, he would bring the horses back in the other direction. Perhaps Akrura would realize, where are you going, my dear horses? And then he would make them come back to their original position and then direct them in the appropriate direction. So in this way, he was showing many spiritual emotions, and he didn't realize that he was taking such a long time to reach Vrindavan. He was in no hurry. So he reached Vrindavan only in the evening. He started off in the morning and he reached in the evening. It took him so much time, dear devotees. Let's get to the second verse. Gachanpati Mahabhago Bhagavatyam Bhujekshane Bhaktim Param Upagata Evametat Achintayat. So in the beginning itself, now we have the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, who is Sukadev Goswami. And Sukadev Goswami is calling Akrura Mahabhaga. Very fortunate, a greatly fortunate person you are. Gachanpati Mahabhago Bhagavatyambujekshane. So this Akrura was a great fortunate devotee. And Bhaktim Param Upagata. Upagata means experiencing. Param means supreme. So as he was Gachanpati, as he was going towards the path of Vrindavan from Mathura, his heart, how was it? It was experiencing intense emotion. And emotion for who? Bhagavati. Means onto the Lord. He was experiencing intense devotion for Bhagavati, onto the Lord. And who's that Lord? He is Lord Krishna. Ambujekshane. Ambuja means lotus. Ikshane means eyes. Krishna has the lotus eyes. So he's addressed as Ambujekshane. So the point here is, Akrura was moving on the chariot towards Vrindavan, and his heart was filled with devotion for Krishna. Kim maya charitam badram, kim taptam paramam tapaha, kim vatapi arhate dattam, yadrakshami adya keshavam. Akrura is like, oh my God, what pious works have I done? What kind of piety have I performed? What kind of austerities have I done? What kind of charities have I given to people? He starts thinking about his fortune of meeting the Lord. Yat drakshami adya keshavam. Keshava is the name of Krishna. So what kind of austerities, charities must I have done to get this good fortune or great fortune of seeing Keshava, right? He's not able to come to terms. No, he's not able to come to terms with regards to his good fortune. I'm actually going to see Krishna? Really? I can't believe it. This is his feeling. Because he understands Keshava is the Supreme Lord. So to get the association or darshan of the Supreme Lord, he understands it's not at all easy. So that is being expressed in this verse. Then, Mamaita durlabam manya uttama sloka darshanam vishayatmano yata brahma kirtanam shudra janmanaha. Now, we all understand Akrura is feeling really unqualified here. So he's saying he's a Vishaya Atmana. Vishaya Atmana is the Sanskrit word which is used here. Which means what? He says, I'm a sense gratifier. He calls himself a sense gratifier. He's not a sense gratifier. What a sense gratifier means? Enjoying the senses, right? He wasn't sense gratifier, but he's thinking himself to be a sense gratifier. He thinks, I'm just Vishaya Atmana. I'm just a sense gratifier. Again, this is one of the symptoms of an advanced devotee. An advanced devotee never thinks that I am advanced. Akrura thinks I'm just a sense gratifier. Just like a Shudra or a low-born person, he cannot understand the scriptures. Similarly, a material person like me, materialistic person like me, I cannot understand the Supreme Lord. So I'm myself, a sense gratifier, is given an opportunity to go to Vrindavan and meet Krishna and take his darshan. And I feel really unqualified. This feeling of being unqualified it's really happening in him. He feels completely low. He thinks it is very difficult for him to get the darshan of the Uttama Sloka, right? It's not very easy. He understands it. And here we have an analogy of Sudama. Sudama, we all know, he's a great devotee of Krishna who met Krishna in Dwaraka. You all heard the pastime of Sudama. Who is he? He is a childhood friend of Krishna who wanted to meet him. Many, many years later, when both had grown up, both had children. Now Krishna, even he had grown up sons at that time. And Sudama, he went there, and Krishna, he treated him so nicely. What did he do? What all did Krishna do for Sudama? He made him a nice own bed. And then he washed his feet. Then he washed his hands he washed his feet with Krishna's own hands. He washed his feet. He massaged his feet. He took out all the tiredness because Sudama, he walked all the way to see Krishna, isn't it? Then after that, he fanned him. Nicely, he fanned him. He did aarti to Sudama, and he gave him all sorts of delicious foodstuffs, like, to eat. And then he spoke sweet words and gave him so much respect. All the residents of the palace, they saw Krishna doing this to Sudama, and they were awestruck. Oh my God, what is Krishna doing to him? And they were not able to understand what kind of respect Sudama was given. And Sudama had come because he was urged by his wife to go and meet Krishna. And Sudama was also supposed to ask Krishna for something. But Sudama had no mood to do that. So he just walked away after this association with Krishna. And then he went away. After that, he went away to Dwaraka, right? While during the time he was walking, his mind was filled with the thoughts about Krishna. It was just such a nice thoughts. All of what Krishna did to him came to his mind. And then he's saying, Sudama is telling himself, who am I? I'm just a poor sinful wretch. This is Sudama thinking. And who's Krishna? He's the Supreme Lord. He is the Lord of Goddess of Fortune. Where is the comparison? Where am I? Where is Krishna? What did Krishna do to me? Krishna, he embraced me with his arms. So, but I am very unqualified person. Yet he gave me this extraordinary fortune. Like this, Akrura is also having the same mood of that of Sudama. Very low feeling that I don't deserve this, right? Then, Maivam mama dhamasyapi shadyeva chuta darshanam kriyamana kalanadya kvachit tarati kashana. Then he tells his mind, oh my God, enough of calling yourself low. Enough of such thoughts. After all, even a fallen soul like me is given a chance to see the Supreme Lord. What is the reason? What is the reason? When he is questioning himself like this, it is just the mercy of the Supreme Lord. I am given a chance. Nothing but the mercy. Even though I am unfortunate, I am going to get darshan, achyuta darshan of the Supreme Lord. Why? Because it's the will of the providence. Sometimes we understand two straws, they come and meet in the ocean, in the river, and then they get separated. Similarly, a conditioned soul who's swept by the river of time, sometimes he is able to get the grace of the Lord and gets in touch with the Lord. So Akrura is realizing this quality, the importance of mercy, that it is just due to Lord's mercy. Even though I may be an unqualified person, I am given a chance because I got the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Then, Mamadhya mangalam nashtam palamams chaiva me bhava yennamasye bhagavato yogi deyangri pangajam. He says, today all my sinful reactions are going to be eradicated and my birth has become worthwhile because I'm going to offer obeisances onto the Supreme Lord Keshava. This is the eagerness he has. So this is the firm resolve he has. As soon as he reaches Vrindavan, what is he going to do? He's going to offer obeisances to these personalities, Krishna and Balaram. And then it's a very interesting verse, this verse. We are going to see now. Kamsa bhatadya kritametyanugraham trakshangri padmam prahito munahare kritva tarasya duratyayam tamaha Purve Taranyenna Kamandala Tvisha. Very interesting verse. Here in this verse, Akrura is thanking Kamsa. And he's saying, Kamsa, you're so merciful. Generally, you don't associate a demon with mercy, isn't it? You associate a devotee with mercy. But here, Kamsa is so merciful upon me, says Akrura. Although Kamsa's intentions were devious, very criminal, but ultimately the fact of the matter is because Kamsa, it is because of Kamsa that Akrura has gotten a chance to meet the Lord. So therefore, he's thanking Kamsa. He's thanking. Today, King Kamsa has shown me extreme mercy by sending me to see the lotus feet of Lord Hari, who has appeared in this material world. You know what? If you look at Krishna, just the effulgence of his toenails, many souls have transcended this insurmountable darkness of material existence and they have achieved liberation. So now, if you look at Akrura, he had to work several years under Kamsa throughout his life, isn't it? And then he was serving Kamsa. But he had this hope that one day I will meet the Supreme Lord and he is going to deliver me. So Akrura is saying, today, Kamsa, you have blessed me with this opportunity and you have done me a great favor. And I will get to see the Lord and take his darshan of the lotus feet and become free from my material existence. This is what he says. Again, you understand, dear devotees, we are trying to understand the bhav or mood of Akrura. What is his feeling? He's going to see the Lord, but before seeing the Lord, what all feelings he is going through as a devotee is what we are relishing now. Okay. So the next verse, Yadarchitam Brahma Bhavadibhi Surai Shriya Cha Devya Munibhi Sasatvatai Gocharanaya Anucharai Sharadvane Yed Gopikanam Puchakumkumankitam. So here Akrura is meditating upon Lord's lotus feet. He's thinking, Yadarchitam Brahma Bhavadibhi Surai Shriya Cha Devya Munibhi Sasatvatai. Oh, those lotus feet of Krishna, they are meditated upon by great sages, great demigods, goddess of fortune. So many saintly personalities, they are all meditating on the lotus feet of Krishna. Akrura is thinking about the lotus feet and all the action it does. And because again, and what is this lotus feet doing? It is doing, again, we have to understand this point that Vrindavan's dust is ornamented by the marks of Krishna's lotus feet, and it has become the treasure for the residents of Vrindavan. This is what this lotus feet is doing. It is worshipped by so many people. But what is this lotus feet doing? They are moving in Vrindavan. They are herding the cows. This is what it is doing. And this shows the superior nature of Braja Bhakti. Drakshami nunam sukapola nasikam smita valokarunakanchalochanam mukam mukuntasya gudalava kritam pradakshinam me pracharanti vaimrika. So the next point Akrura is meditating about is Lord's incomparable beauty. You can all imagine, right? Akrura is sitting there and the reins are in his hands. He is moving, but he's thinking of all these things and the horse is taking him to so many places and he doesn't realize, oh, where am I? Where am I? Then he gets back on track after his deep meditation. Now he starts imagining Krishna's beauty. I'm going to see Lord Mukunda's lotus face and I'm going to see the curly locks of Krishna's hair. He's going to give me a sidelong glance. His smiling glances, his lotus face, his curly hairs. I'm going to visualize all of this. And again, he says, somebody may say, what is the difference between you seeing the Lord and a demon seeing the Lord? Demon is also seeing the Lord, isn't it? He's able to observe Lord's curly hair, lotus face, his eyes, and all that. But what's the difference between you seeing the Lord and the demon seeing the Lord? He says, I'm more fortunate because my eyes will become more successful because I understand the beauty of the Lord. But people who don't understand the beauty of the Lord, they're not going to enjoy or they're not going to be fortunate people because they don't have that love or devotion. So what's the point? Even though they see, it is equal to not seeing them. Now, here an analogy is quoted. The gopis, they sing a beautiful verse from Gopi Geet. It goes like this. Atati yad pavan ahnikananam truti yugayate tvam apashyatam Kutilakuntalam Srimukam Chate Jata Utikshatam Pashmakritrisham. So the gopis of Vrindavan, they are not happy with Brahma, the creator, because they think, oh, Brahmaji, he has made a major mistake in designing this human body. What he has done? He has given this eyelids to blink. Oh my God, it's a blunder. Why? Because we are not able to enjoy and relish and see the beautiful face of Lord Krishna. Oh my God, there is an interruption because we are blinking. So again, it is no offense. These gopis are not offending the creator. It is just showing their spontaneous love and devotion to Krishna. That is what this Gopi Geet is about. And then we are going to go and see, okay, so far you've spoken about Lord's general qualities. Does Lord have special qualities? If so, can I understand what those special qualities are? Somebody may ask, right? This verse answers that question. Tvam twadyanunam mahatam katim gurum Trailokyakantam drishiman mahotsavam rupam dadanam shriya ipshitaspatam drakshe mamashan ushasha sudharshana. He says, today I will get to see the master of great souls, Trailokyakantam, the supreme Lord. He is going to give jubilation to all the three worlds, and I'm going to take darshan of that Lord. He is going to give happiness to all the three worlds, and I'm going to take shelter of this form, which is desired by goddess of fortune, Lakshmi also. So this is his feeling. And then he says, he's thinking to himself, okay, so what is Supreme Lord going to do? What I will do is, first I'll get on from my chariot, and he's just imagining what is going to happen ahead. Okay, so he's saying, I'm going to just get on from my chariot. I'm going to bow down to the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram. And then I'll after paying obeisances to them, I'm going to pay obeisances to the cowherd boyfriends and other residents of Vrindavan. That is not, he's not happy just by saying it. And then he's thinking, oh, will the Lord consider me as his enemy because I have worked for Kamsa? Do you think the Lord will consider me as his enemy? And then he understood, oh, etamam prapatyante tams tataiva bhajamyaham. So he's not going to consider me as his enemy because he understands the intentions and emotions of a devotee. So he would very well understand me, and he will not think that I'm an enemy of Kamsa. I mean, I'm an enemy of him working for Kamsa. Then he becomes more possessive, more desirous. And he says, you know what Lord will do? Lord will put his hand on my head. Today I'll get the touch of Lord's lotus hands. The same lotus hand which has wiped the sweat of gopis in Rasalila. I'm going to get touch of that hand. Again, this is the faith and confidence of Akrura. He says, Lord is not going to consider me as his enemy because he knows my intentions, and then he is omniscient. He knows everyone internally and externally. Therefore, he knows my desires. And then what is Akrura thinking about now? He's saying that when the Lord obviously sees me after putting his hand on my head, he's going to give a smile to me. He's going to give this affectionate glance upon me. And then I'm going to remain like this. I'm going to remain like this with my hands folded, with my joint palms, just thinking and praying to the Lord when he does this to me, when he does this to me. And then I'll after that, I'll just fall at his feet, pay my dandavats. This is not enough. After this, Krishna will embrace me. And when he embraces me, that is the time I will become free from all material bondage. This is what he's, this is what he's relishing. Even before the darshan has happened, he's just able to get all these feelings of meditation upon the Lord. And obviously, this is just such a wonderful thought process that is going on Akrura's mind. I'll stand near the Lord, and the Lord is going to address me. Oh, my dear Akrura, This is what the Lord is going to address me as. And just by hearing these words, oh, Akrura, from the lotus lips of the Lord, my life is going to be fulfilled. If the Lord calls his devotees, oh, my dear devotee, just hearing those words are sufficient, isn't it? And then what about Lord giving a sweet, affectionate glance upon a devotee? It creates the mood of service. And what about Lord smiling at a devotee? What did it do? It would just evaporate all the ocean of tears or ocean of lamentation of a devotee. So therefore, the perfection of life is to get darshan of the Lord. And just if we get that acknowledgement from the Lord, that would make your life perfect. Sukadev Goswami continues. He says Akrura is thinking like this, and he didn't even realize that he has arrived Vrindavan. So we have all reached Vrindavan with Akrura now. Let's get going and further understand what is happening to Akrura. Padhani tasya kilalokapala kirita jushta malapadareno dadarshana koshti shiti kautukani vilakshitanya abjayavankushadhyai. So now Akrura is entering Vrindavan. He saw the footprints of Krishna, those footprints which are worshipped by Lokapalas, right? They put that, they put the dust of the lotus feet on their head. They put their helmets, their crowns at the lotus feet of the Lord. They put the dust on their feet. And he saw Lord's footprints there. And as soon as he recognized, okay, these are Lord's footprints. How can one recognize Lord's footprints? It is marked with various simple dear devotees like lotus, baby corn, elephant goat, swastika. These are some symbols of the Lord. The footprints of the Lord. If you want to see, yeah, it is of Krishna, then you can identify that these symbols are there. As soon as he saw that, what happened to him? He was completely in ecstasy. He was overwhelmed with ecstasy. And after that, Tadarshanala Vivrida Sambrama, Tadarshanala the Vivrida Sambrama, Trenodvaroma Shukala Kulekshana, Ratata Vakshkandya Satheshva Chetstata, Prabhur Amunyangri Rajamsi Ahohiti. As soon as he saw the footprints, he exclaimed, oh, it is dust of the lotus feet of my Lord. He was overwhelmed with ecstasy and he started crying. Hairs were standing on the hand and he was filled completely with love. He jumped off the chariot and started again glorifying the Lord. Then what did he do? He started rolling in the dust of the Vrindavan. He started rolling there. Oh, today my goal of life is achieved. Like that, he was completely overwhelmed in ecstasy and started rolling on the ground. Deham britam yamarto hitva dambam biyam sucham santeshat yoharer linga darshana shravanadibihi. He says, the goal of all embodied living beings, hitva dambam biyam sucham, he said, is the ecstasy. The ecstasy that I'm going through, that is the ultimate goal of all the embodied beings. So what he did, he gave up three things. So that is what we are going to see. He gave up pride. He gave up fear of lamentation. And what was the fear? Why does he have to fear? Who is he fearing about? He was fearful of Kamsa. If Kamsa is going to know about this, that I'm rolling on the dust of Vrindavan, trying to, pick up, he was asked to pick up Krishna from Vrindavan, but in the process, he's rolling in the dust of Vrindavan. He gave up that fear. If Kamsa comes to know about this, what he's going to do to me? Is he going to kill me? He gave up that fear. And because of love, he gave up that fear. So this is the first thing. And then he gave up pride. Why he gave up pride? Again, he is a member of the aristocratic family, but he was rolling here in the dust of Vrindavan. That means you have to give up your pride, isn't it? If you're a very big shot, you will not even want to pay obeisances to somebody because oh yeah, I'm a big shot and why should I do this? So this Akrura here, he belongs to an aristocratic family and he was rolling here in the dust, seeing the footprints of the cowherd boy. So he gave up that pride of aristocracy. Then Sucham, he gave up lamenting. Oh yeah, lamenting for his house, for his sons, for his wife. No more lamentation, no fear, no pride. So this is what happened as soon as he touched Vrindavan. So now Akrura, he saw Krishna and Balaram in the village of Vraja. As soon as he got the darshan of the Lordship, see, first initially he saw the footprints of Krishna. But really now he's getting a formal darshan of Krishna and Vrindavan. They were going to milk the cows. And Krishna, he was wearing yellow garments. Balaram, he was wearing blue garments. And you know, the complexion of Krishna was dark, and then Balaram. So like this, he saw Krishna and Balaram, and they were beautifully glancing upon the inhabitants of Vraja. And then they were creating happiness in the Vrajavasis. So they were also beautifying the cowherd pasture ground by their footprints. And then they were wearing a beautiful flower garland, ornamented necklace. In this way, they were looking really, really gorgeous, really, really beautiful. So Akrura saw first time Krishna and Balaram. As soon as he saw, he immediately jumped off the chariot. What did he do? He fell down to the feet of Krishna and Balaram like a rod, like he did complete Dandavat. And again, we understand this is the success of devotee's life, isn't it? To get the darshan of the Lord. And now Akrura, he achieved that perfection. After a hard struggle, you know, he was with Kamsa for such a long time working for him. He had to undergo a lot of trouble staying with Kamsa, following the orders of Kamsa. But again, in his mind, there was just one thought: I'm going to get darshan of Krishna one day, and that day has come now and it's fulfilled. So this is faith that the devotee has. Although he did not like, of course, serving Kamsa, he was doing it just so he could get the darshan of Krishna. And now we have to understand, while he was serving Kamsa, he was like a lotus flower, Padma Patra Ivambasha, meaning a lotus leaf is untouched by all the mud. And now the result is fructifying. He got the darshan of Lord and he jumped off the chariot and fell at the Lord like a rod. And he touched the Lord's lotus feet. As soon as he touched, all ecstatic symptoms again started to manifest. His hair started to, his hairs were up, and then his eyes was filled with tears. His limbs were erupting in ecstasy. He could not even speak. He was in such a blissful state, dear devotees. This was the state of Akrura. And now Krishna understood, oh, he's Akrura. And then he caught Akrura by his hand. And then he drew him close like this. And then he embraced Akrura. Krishna is omniscient. He understood the desire of Akrura and he reciprocated, because Akrura had this desire in him and Krishna wanted to fulfill that desire. Sukadev Goswami says, the hand of the Lord is having the sign of a chariot wheel. And with those hands, Krishna, he embraced Akrura like this. So as Akrura stood up with his hands folded, he had anticipated he saw somebody else touching him also. And then he saw Balaram. He grasped his folded hands and he also gave him a good embrace. So like that, Akrura was blessed. Bhagavam swam apipretya ratangan kitapanina parirebhya bhukrakshya prita pranatavatsala. He was thinking, Balaram, he grasped his hand and he took Akrura to Nanda's house. Krishna and Balaram, along with Akrura, they went to Nanda Bhavan, and Akrura entered Nanda Bhavan. Nanda Maharaj, seeing Akrura, he was also very happy. And what all they do? They offered him good seat, they bathed his feet, they offered him milk with honey. It's all fresh milk we are talking about. It's not like the packaged milk, right? It's a fresh milk that they offered. And then they gave a good massage to his lotus feet, and again gave a gift of cow and various items to eat. Like this, he was completely satisfied. And all after you eat, aromatic herbs will be given, right, to serve, and those were served as well. And then flowers and flower garlands were offered to him. In this way, lots of prasad with fine tastes and lot of varieties were given to Akrura. Nivedyegam chatithaye samvahya shantam adrita annam bahugunam medyam shraddhayo paharat vibhuhu. Now after this, Akrura was like, yes, I'm very happy. I'm very completely satisfied. He felt that all his desires, whatever he had before he was going to have darshan of Krishna, whatever desires he had in terms of spiritual desires, everything was fulfilled now. So he was having a warm welcome that was given by the two lords and also Nanda Maharaj and brother Brajavasis. He was having a very warm welcome. So now we are going to enter into the 39th chapter, and we are going to see and understand, what is going to happen further. Okay. So after Krishna, Akrura, as we understand, his desires, he were completely satisfied because all his spiritual desires were fulfilled. And now Krishna took prasad and he had his meal. In the evening, he went and met Akrura. He asked about various things, what's happening in Mathura. He asked about also the plans of Kamsa. And Krishna said, my dear, Krishna is speaking to Akrura. He's saying, my dear uncle, Akrura, was your trip comfortable? Are the relatives happy? Are they faring well? And then Krishna asked, are they all having good health? And Krishna further asked if Akrura was free from disease. Meaning, why he asked Akrura was free from disease? Disease meaning, as long as the disease of our dynasty Kamsa is there, what is the use of asking about welfare of others? How this person is doing, how that person is doing. What's the use of asking all those when Kamsa is the person who's ruling? Because you are living like a sheep under the butcher, right? So therefore, Krishna said, see how much suffering I have created. I have caused to my parents Devaki and Vasudeva. They are offenseless people. Because of me, they are suffering so much. My mother Devaki, she has to undergo the death of her 6 sons. And they themselves were imprisoned. They had to undergo so many hardships, isn't it? While being in the prison, being shackled by the chains. So Krishna is just lamenting. And he's saying, by good fortune today, I got to see you. My desire, our desire is fulfilled today. So uncle, please tell me why you have come here. Kindly give me the reason why you have come here today. Actually, is Krishna, Krishna is saying that I have desired to see you for a long time. Why he is making this statement? Why is he making this statement? Because after seeing you, I am getting a good reason to fight with Kamsa. See, then only I can go to Mathura, isn't it? And kill Kamsa. Since you are here, our acharyas are telling this very important clarification point. They are telling it is only possible for Krishna to go out of Vrindavan if somebody comes from Mathura and invites him to Mathura. Then only he can take permission from his parents, Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, and then he can go to Mathura. Because he loves his parents more in Vrindavan, right? He loves Yashodama and Nanda Maharaj more. So therefore, he needs to take their permission to leave to Mathura. He must have a very valid reason. Otherwise, he can't go to Mathura. So he was just waiting for this opportunity. He wanted to kill Kamsa. He has done so many offenses. So therefore, Krishna is waiting. He was desiring to see Akrura. So therefore, he says, oh, Akrura, now you have come and my desires are fulfilled. Shukadev Goswami continues, Akrura, he told about Akrura, what did he tell Krishna? He told about Kamsa's plan, how he was planning to kill Krishna and Balaram, how he was planning to kill Vasudeva and Devaki, then Ugrasena and the entire members of the Yadu dynasty and the other Bhojas. So Akrura told everything to Krishna, that Kamsa has sent me for this reason. This is the real intention of Kamsa. And one of our acharyas, Jiva Goswami, he writes about this in Harivamsa Puran, describing in detail what was the whole message which was given by Akrura. What is the message that Akrura passed on to Krishna? He's saying, actually, if you know condition of Vasudeva, he's in such a pain. He's an aged person, he's very old, and he's practically dried up. You know what? Right now his condition is, he's limping, he's imprisoned, and he's almost like a dead person. And Akrura is telling again to Krishna, if you ask me about Devaki Ma is always crying and lamenting. She is in the pain of separation from her son. That is you, Krishna. She has lost her effulgence. She's like a cow who has lost her calf. If a cow lost his calf, how would she feel? Like that, she's really suffering. And oh Krishna, you have subdued Kaliya, you have subdued great demons like Putana, Agasu, Trinavarta, all others you have subdued. But you should also deliver your parents from the clutches of Kamsa. You should definitely do that. You should deliver your parents because their condition is miserable. Again, this is from Harivamsa Puran. So we understand Akrura has now given an idea to Krishna about what is Kamsa's plan. And when Krishna and Balaram, they heard the plans of Kamsa, they had a good hearty laugh because they understand Kamsa cannot do anything to us. So they told everything to Nanda Maharaj, how Kamsa is calling them to attend a festival. So Nanda Maharaj, just like when Krishna proposed for Govardhan Puja, Nanda Maharaj was little surprised. But because Krishna had this desire, Nanda Maharaj said, no problem. So now Krishna expressed his desire that he wants to go to Mathura, and Nanda Maharaj agreed. Immediately, Nanda Maharaj, he issued orders to all over Vrindavan. He said, go and collect all available milk, collect all gifts. We are going to meet King Kamsa, and tomorrow we have to go to Mathura, where we'll be attending a great sacrifice, which Kamsa has arranged there. So we will go with all these items of gift. So our Acharya again clarifies here important point to say that when Krishna proposed this particular idea of him going to Vrindavan, nobody objected. Everyone was ready to fulfill the order of Krishna because everyone wanted to please Krishna. And then we are coming to the gopis here. When the young gopis heard the news, Akrura has to come to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, they were all surprised, they were all shocked, they were all extremely distressed. That condition, dear devotees, I am not able to explain. We are going to see some of what they are going through, but I am in no position to even explain their pangs of separation. So in this chapter 39, the gopis are singing they are singing this Viraga Geet while seeing their Krishna being dragged out of Vrindavan by Akrura. So here, the pangs of separation of the gopis have skyrocketed. It has reached its zenith. They are crying and weeping in the separation of Lord Krishna. And Sukadev Goswami, he is describing this in 5 verses, relating their anguish and suffering. So there are different gopis and they are expressing their distress in different ways. We are going to understand how the different gopis are expressing their distress. Okay. First, a gopi named Bhadra. She felt pain in her heart because of heavy breathing. She became pale. Her face actually turned very pale. You all understand, right? If you have not eaten food, our face may turn pale. But for her, as soon as she heard the news, Krishna is leaving Vrindavan, her face turned pale. This is with a gopi named Bhadra. Other gopi, Shyamala, she was very shocked. Just by hearing the news that Krishna is going, she has lost her effulgence. Then her dress loosened. Why did her dress loosen? She has lost her weight. Immediately, as soon as she heard that Krishna is going to Vrindavan, she lost weight. Her hairs, her bracelet, her braids, they all became loose. Another gopi, Chandravali, what happened to her? Chandravali, as soon as she heard that Krishna is going to leave, she lost all her sensory activities. She became completely stunned. She became absorbed in meditation of Krishna. She lost all her awareness to the outside world, completely unaware. Somebody is calling, no response, completely unaware. This was her situation of Chandravali. Like this, there were many gopis. Sukadev Goswami, he says, these gopis that we are talking about, they were all on the level of great sages who have attained self-realization. So this was the state of gopis. Externally speaking, they are looking like ordinary cowherd girls, right? But their devotion is the highest. They were the epitome of transcendental realization. And the ecstasies of separation which these gopis are manifesting, They are unparalleled. Now, our another Acharya is describing the feelings of another gopi. As soon as she heard that Krishna is going to leave Vrindavan, she remembered all the pastimes of Krishna. Whatever time she had spent with Krishna, she remembered all of them. The charming words of Krishna, affectionate smiling glances of Krishna, beautiful, beauty of Krishna. After remembering all of this, her heart, this heart of this gopi, that is Srimati Radharani, practically remembering Krishna. She is none other than Srimati Radharani, who's the highest epitome of love, right? What happened to her? She was so much remembering these incidents that I was talking about. She fainted. As soon as she heard Krishna is leaving Vrindavan, remembering the wonderful pastimes, wonderful reciprocations which Krishna had with her, Srimati Radharani just fainted. This is what happened to her. In the material world, dear devotees, if you were to look, out of sight, if somebody is not seen for some time, out of mind. But when it comes to spiritual world, actual love out of sight increases the eagerness to see the beloved, which is what the gopis were experiencing throughout their life. Increased eagerness to see Krishna because they were in separation. And now the prospect of Krishna leaving Vrindavan was unbearable to them. So they were in great agitation. They gathered in little groups and all over Braja, they gathered little groups and they started discussing with each other. Oh, what is going to happen now? What is Akrura going to do now? What is Akrura going to do? Like this, they started discussing it. And they, of course, started saying, first thing, now what all expressions of love are they showing is something that we are going to relish. It's a beautiful section, dear devotees. I would want you all to kind of relish this as you relished Akrura's bhav. We have to understand Gopi's bhav as well now. So what all are they experiencing? They started condemning providence, destiny. Oh, destiny, you have no mercy. You know what? You're bringing people together in a relationship, in a friendship and love, and you selfishly separate them before they even fulfill their desires. This whimsical play of yours is like a child's play, destiny. What are you doing to us? What does a child do? The child's play is suddenly, they create something and then suddenly they give up that game. Whatever they were doing, they would just give it up and they would destroy everything. And then they would go and do something else. Just break up whatever they did and do something else. Very whimsically they act, isn't it? So the gopis are condemning destiny to say that you're also like a child. You don't have stability in what you do. You're doing one thing now and then doing something else another time. What's the point of bringing people together as friends and then put them through this affectionate relationship? And after a point of time, you separate them. What's the point? Why are you doing this to us? You have no mercy at all, my dear destiny, providence. And then they are saying, again, they are condemning the providence once again by saying, although you have come here with the name Akrura, which means not cruel, actually, your name should be Krura. Krura means cruel. Your name, destiny, your name should be Krura, because you're taking away what you gave us once. Now, what was given by destiny to them? So we have to understand this point. Krishna's form is the perfection of the entire existence. There is nothing more perfect than Krishna's form. So the gopis are saying, our eyes had the fortune of seeing this beautiful form of you, Krishna, right? And now, providence, you're taking this eyes away from us, isn't it? So aren't you Krura? Aren't you cruel? That is why they are giving the name Krura to the destiny. Gopis are saying, you're making us blind. Our eyes will become blind without you, Krishna. So what is the purpose? If Krishna is not there, then what is the purpose of this eyes? Because we've seen the pinnacle of beauty in the form of Krishna. What is the use of seeing all other things? The gopis, they were drinking literally the beauty of Krishna with their eyes constantly. They were drinking the beauty of Krishna. Now Krishna, he is the abode of Yasha, Shriya, Aishwarya. That means he is the abode of fame, beauty, and opulence. The beauty of Krishna. It's like he's city of beauty. They're calling him city of beauty. Of all the beautiful things, Krishna's body is most beautiful. And in the body, face is most beautiful. And even in the face, Krishna's beautiful smile. Wow, that enchanting smile of Krishna, that is most beautiful. This is incomparable, they say. The body of Krishna is like a city of beauty. So the gopis are saying, he is the pinnacle of beauty. What is the use of seeing all other things this world has to offer? You are making us blind, Destiny. You are behaving in a very cruel way. That is why they call the destiny Akrura. Now, after some time, they were like, why to criticize the creator? This creator, what's the point of criticizing the creator, the providence, the destiny? What's the point of criticizing the creator? They say, actually, the creator is not at fault. We have given everything to Krishna, and Krishna is now indifferent to us. What is this? He is going to Mathura and he is just completely indifferent to us. In effect, he has forgotten all of us. Why should we criticize the creator? In a second, Krishna has forgotten. Krishna, you know what? He is very eager to make new lovers. What is the fault of the creator? Krishna decided to go to Mathura. He's not even going to come back to Vrindavan. Even if we cry, however long we cry, even if we give up our lives, Krishna is not going to come back. What is the fault of the creator in this? We have given everything to Krishna. What all we have given up? We have given up our family, we have given up our brothers, we have given up our sisters, we have given up our relatives. What about them? We have given up our husbands also for his sake. And now he wants new lovers. This is how the gopis are lamenting. And he is giving us up because he wants new lovers. Some new lovers he wants, that's why he wants to give us up. Then they spoke of, they turned their faces towards Krishna. Now they are turning towards Akrura. They are turning towards Akrura. And as you know, they are calling Akrura also in ill names. In Sanskrit, we know Akrura has a specific meaning and not cruel. So Krura means cruelty, to be very cruel in nature. When you have the syllable as the prefix a, taken out, it negates the meaning. So Akrura means not cruel, and they take the a out of it, negate the a, then it becomes Krura, which means cruel. So the gopis are calling Akrura. The gopis are sarcastically laughing with each other and saying, what kind of name is this? He is committing the greatest cruelty possible by taking Krishna away from us. And his name is Akrura. He's not cruel. If this is not cruelty, then what is cruelty? The gopis are begging at the lotus feet of Akrura. Please don't do this. Please don't take Krishna away from Vrindavan. We are offering obeisances to the feet of the horse of Akrura, which are taking the chariot ahead. They are just, imagine the situation, dear devotees. This is not easy. The feelings that they are going through are just so elevated, and it's difficult for us to even understand and perceive these feelings. This is just not ordinary feelings. This is feelings of elevated devotees that we are trying to understand. Again, so they are trying to offer obeisances to the feet of the horse of Akrura, which are taking the chariot ahead, taking Krishna and Balaram away from Vrindavan to Mathura. The gopis are feeling ultimately devastated, and it is like, I'm going to give you a comparison to kind of understand this particular scenario. Okay. Again, so we are going to take a metaphor here and understand. The gopis are feeling ultimate devastation and death because they feel Kamsa is like Yamaraj. This is a metaphor. So we are going to have some comparisons, comparing Kamsa to Yamaraj. And Akrura is like a Yamaduta, the messenger of God of death. Okay. And Akrura is coming on a chariot. It is like Yamadutas, the messenger of God of death, coming with a noose. And the living beings in Braja, they are compared to the relatives. And Krishna and Balaram, they are like soul in a metaphorical sense. So when the soul is taken out of the body, what happens? The relatives are crying. And here, who are the Brajabasis, the gopis? They are the crying, right? They are the ones who are compared to relatives. And they are the ones who are crying. Because the soul is taken out of the body means Krishna and Balaram are like the soul. And they are taken out of the body means they are taken out of Vrindavan. By whom? The Yamatutas, which is Akrura. And the Brajabasis are crying because they are the relatives and they are crying. But the Yamatutas, will they care about it? No, they don't care. They don't sit and talk with the soul or the body or with the relatives and pacify them saying, oh, you don't cry, don't feel separation. They don't say. It's just their duty. Whatever they have come, therefore, they do the duty and they go. You want, you cry. If you want to have separation, you feel that separation. You feel the pain. That's your problem. That is how heartless the Yamatutas are, right? At least from the perspective of the relatives or the persons who are crying. That is how they are feeling this situation to be. It's very, they are all, they feel that Akrura is doing this to them and they cannot bear it. The Braja Gopis are crying and weeping. But Akrura doesn't seem to have a change of heart. Because they are crying, Akrura is not going to leave Krishna in Vrindavan. Akrura, the gopis are calling Akrura as very cruel because of this reason. And then they again turn towards Krishna. They are like, Krishna, they are saying, calling Krishna as hard-hearted here. He is already mounted on the chariot. This hard-hearted Krishna, he is already mounted on the chariot. He's not even looking at us. He has to look at us to understand our feelings. But this Krishna is not even looking at us. Akrura is mounting on his chariot and Krishna is also climbing on the chariot. And the gopis are saying, Krishna, you have become very hard-hearted. And he is leaving the embrace of Mother Yashoda and climbing onto the chariot. So now the gopis are saying, see, what are they saying? The birds of feather flock together. Meaning, if Akrura is hard-hearted, he doesn't have the etiquette. Krishna should not associate with this Akrura. Associating with Akrura, Krishna has become hard-hearted. So in this verse, the gopis are calling Krishna hard-hearted. Is not like they are reprimanding Krishna or criticizing Krishna. They know Krishna is not at all hard-hearted. How they know? The gopis know all the time they have been with Krishna, right? And Krishna's heart is always melting for them. When Indra was pouring rain for 7 days, 7 nights, it was Krishna who held Giriraj. Giriraj Govardhan was held by him with his little teeny tiny finger for 7 days. Because his heart melted. He couldn't see the pain in the lives of Brajavasis. In chapter 35, gopis, they pray that Krishna, you give joy to those who are distressed. When someone in Vrindavan is very sad, Krishna, what he will do? He would go to that person and he will cut jokes and make them laugh. This is how Krishna is. Our acharyas describe that when Krishna plays a flute, sometimes there is a leaf that falls off the tree and it lands on Krishna's forearm. And when Krishna removes the leaf, the imprint of the leaf is found on Krishna's forearm, it seems. That is how soft Krishna's skin is. If that is how soft Krishna's skin is, then how soft is Krishna's face? If that's how soft Krishna's face is, then how soft his heart is. So Krishna has become cruel or hard-hearted because, because Akrura is sharing his cruelty with Krishna. This is how the gopis perceive. Right? The gopis are addressing Krishna, you are Madhava. You are described as the husband of goddess of fortune. And you are not our husband. So we are not your property because wife is a property of a husband. And that's why they are calling here Madhava. So the husband, whatever he wants, he can do it with his wife. And nobody will blame because the husband has the right to do whatever he wants with his wife. But the gopis are saying, we are not your property. But how you can kill us? If you go away, you are killing us literally. So why are you doing this to us? Why are you doing this to us? Can you not understand our feelings, dear Krishna? So that is why the gopis are addressing Krishna as Madhava. Again, dear devotees, we have to understand this one fact that the gopis, whatever they are doing, it's all spiritual emotions. We cannot use our material mind to comprehend what they are talking. It's all spiritual emotions, and they are speaking all this with spontaneous love for Krishna. This is something we need to understand. Now, the gopis, they are turning their face towards elders now. So they spoke about Krishna. They spoke, first they started off with Providence. They went to Krishna, then went to Akrura, then back to Krishna. And now they are coming to the elders. They are turning their attention towards elders. So what's wrong with the elders of Vrindavan? Why are they not doing anything? Why are they just standing and watching this drama? Why are they letting all this happen? Look at the grandfathers. Look at Nanda Maharaj's father, Parjanya Maharaj, Krishna's grandfather, Nanda Baba's father. He's standing there. He's standing and just watching the scene. He's standing and just watching everything. Nanda Maharaj, his brothers, Upananda and other brothers, they are also watching instead of just jumping onto the scene, and they have to stop the injustice, isn't it? Instead of doing all that, they're just like watching. What's happening? Like that, they are like completely toned down. They have their hands tied. They're just watching like a Paramatma. They are comparing them to Paramatma. They're saying, you see, Paramatma, he doesn't jump and help, whether even if you are burning in fire, the Paramatma is not going to come and help. Or if you are drowning in the water, he's just a neutral spectator. He's there inside, he's watching, but he doesn't react or respond. He doesn't do anything. So the gopis are taunting with sarcasm here. I think all of you, all elders, you have all become Paramatmas now. You're just watching everything. You are just seeing everything, but you're not taking any kind of action or any steps of action. This is what is your case. And then, okay, they are done with the elders, condemning the elders with sarcasm. And then they are turning towards the cowherd men. They're saying, see, these people, these cowherd, the cowherd boys, the cowherds, they are foolish. They are, obviously giving all the ill words or bad words here. These cowherds, they don't even understand. Foolishly, they are hurrying behind Krishna in another cart. They are following Krishna and going to Mathura, thinking there is some big festival there. Some grand festival is going to happen. For that reason, they have taken another cart and they are just following Krishna. Even elders are not saying anything. Siddhama and Sudama, Sridham, Sudam, these cowherd boys, they are also going with Krishna in another cart, thinking they will have a good, nice time. They can enjoy, play, have a good festival time. They are going to see the city, leaving this village. So these gopis, they understood. Obviously, Krishna is not going to come back. And these cowherd men, cowherd boys, elders are all foolish people. They are not even telling anything. These cowherd men, they are not even understanding what the real problem is. They are committing suicide. Krishna is not going to come back. And when they come back, they will be all alone. And in separation from Krishna, they will not be able to live. They will certainly die in his absence. But they are not understanding what they are doing. They are just now in a very festive mood, going in the cart with Krishna, not knowing what the real problem is. So in this way, the gopis are lamenting. And they are saying, today, the fate is completely against us. It's completely against us. And he wanted, obviously, why is Krishna doing all this to the Brajavasis? If you were to ask this question, dear devotees, it is, he wanted the Brajavasis to experience a greater rasa of Vipralamba Bhav. Vipralamba Bhav. The love in separation. The love in separation is much more than the love in union. That is what the Brajavasis are experiencing now. The gopis, throughout their life, they are remembering Krishna. Whatever they were doing, every day they are making garland, they were making wonderful, everything. they would make wonderful preparations, thinking Krishna will come today, thinking Krishna will come today. Every day is the same, waiting for Krishna, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. They were doing the same thing, hoping Krishna will return. Yes, today is going to come. Today is going to be back. They never became frustrated or fed up. Oh, Krishna is not going to come. That is the eagerness the gopis had. Again, it is described by the Sanskrit term laulyam. It is called enthusiasm, which the gopis were showing towards, by their own example, waiting for Krishna. This is Viraha Geet. Again, there is so much more to talk, but it's getting very late. So I'm going to stop here. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Akrura's vision in terms of what he saw. Again, when he went near Jamuna, he was able to see Vishnu's form with Anantasesh. And he also saw Krishna and Balaram sitting in the chariot. So together he was able to see all these forms, and he understood that he had this great fortune of getting darshan of the Supreme Lord, Krishna and Balaram. And then his life was perfected in this way. So again, dear devotees, I have to definitely answer this one question, which we all may have in our hearts. Is Akrura actually cruel? Is Akrura cruel, really? So in Padyavali, a compilation of verses by Srila Rupa Goswami, it is explained that just as Parikshit Maharaj is the epitome of the best example for hearing Krishna Katha. So the Sukadev Goswami, he's the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. He is the son of Vyasadev, and he was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj perfected his life by hearing Krishna Katha. And Sukadev Goswami is the highest example for the person who perfected his life by speaking Krishna Katha. Like that, Akrura is the best example of a person for offering prayers in a devotional mood. So Akrura is a great, great devotee. Then why the gopis are thinking Akrura is hard-hearted? We have to understand the context. In Akrura's mind, Krishna is not the son of Nanda and Yashoda. Krishna is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Because Akrura is coming from Mathura. So he's very convinced. He's very convinced that Krishna is the child of Devaki and Vasudeva. And he knows Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He appeared as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. And it was Vasudeva who got Krishna to Gokul. And now Krishna has all grown up. It is time for him to go back to his real home, real parents. So he should go back to Mathura. Akrura is thinking in his mind, the Brajavasis better accept the situation that Krishna does not belong to them. Krishna belongs to Devaki and Vasudeva. And Devaki and Vasudeva, he understands they were being tortured in the prison, right? They were tortured by Kamsa. Akrura was actually seeing that. And Krishna, if he doesn't come now, then who will help them? Krishna is their child. Why would Akrura tell the Brajavasis, especially Nanda and Yashoda, don't worry, I'll bring Krishna back? Akrura is thinking he's the son of, Devaki and Vasudeva. So he was kept for a few years in Vrindavan, but his actual home is Mathura only. His parents are Devaki and Vasudeva. He's not a Vaishya, he's a Kshatriya. He has to fight against demoniac persons like Kamsa and uproot the demoniac forces, starting off with Kamsa. So Akrura couldn't relate the Rajavasi's love, right? He couldn't relate. He couldn't relate what was happening to them. Akrura saw Krishna and Balaram as Anantasesh, as I told you, Narayana form. And Akrura, obviously did prayers, so he has this realized knowledge. He has this realized knowledge, and he is a devotee of the Lord, pure devotee of the Lord. So you can understand his mood. He's coming from Mathura, and he has seen Devaki and Vasudeva going through so much trouble. So Krishna being their son, he has to uproot the demoniac forces like Kamsa and save Devaki and Vasudeva. So this was Akrura's mood. So whatever he did was unintentional. It was not an intentional thing. Okay. So with this, we will come to an end. And before I end the class, I want to just quote one particular verse. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvamsa purayantu tat yadatra shaushtavam kinchit tat koror eva menihi. It is possible that I might have made mistakes in speaking Krishna's Akrura Lila. Mistakes are a part of conditioned existence, but you are all vidvamsaha. You're all learned people. So please correct any mistakes I have done. But if there is anything that you liked in the katha that you heard today, anything you liked, please know that I got it from my Gurujanas. Therefore, I have to give credit to them. It does not belong to me, dear devotees. Hope you understand, and thank you so much for patiently hearing this Krishna Katha. Let me just offer my humble obeisances to all. Vancha kalpa tarubhya cha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to all of them. All glories to our acharyas. Hare Krishna.
Amazing talk, Mataji. You took us
think-
to the journey.
Yeah, Radhika, as Mataji already said, it was truly enthralling. Like we were transported to first to the journey. We were with you in the journey from Mathura to Vrindavan along with Akrura, and we reached Vrindavan, and there the entire emotion broke. All of us, I'm sure, all the devotees who are a part of this call today wouldn't have, there wouldn't be a single person whose cheeks didn't roll in tears. I'm sure everybody enjoyed the Bhagavatam, the depth meaning that you explained, and you yourself being a devotee, a great devotee of Lord Krishna, it was evident that how you experience the whole thing. You never narrated or you never read out the verses. You experienced every bit, and that was very clear. It wasn't the emotions can't be prepared. You can't just emote suddenly unless and until you have gone in depth with the whole Grantha. That was very clear, Radhika. And thanks to you, Jai Shri Krishna. It has been amazing. As every year, we can see how your depth into the Grantha has progressed. And I can, as an elder sister, proudly say that your progress is amazing, and we are very happy for you. And may Lord Krishna bless you all and your family with a lot of good things in future as well. So, and as we heard a lot of Bhagavatam now, I'm reminded of a small verse from Narayaniam by Narayana Bhattatri, who told the same episode in his different fashion as well. Drakshyami Veda Shatagita Gatim Pumamsam Sprakshami Kim Shitapinama Parishvajeham Kim Vakshyate Sakaluma Kwanu Vikshitasyat Yittam Ninaya Sabhavantyameva Margam. So all the lamentations and all the excitement that was happening in Akrura's mind, same thing was projected in this Narayaniam Shlokam by Narayana Bhattatri as well. So thanks to all the Astikas who have joined in. And now you're free to ask any questions. Any feedback is most welcome. You can speak to the speaker today. And tomorrow again, we are having an online session in Tamil by Adiyen. The topic is Kuralum Kuralum, starting at 7 p.m. IST. Thank you. Namaste.
Radhika, this is Mohan.
Oh,
Radhika, this is Mohan. It's a fantastic presentation, and we could feel your passion, your devotion. That was very it was palpable. Sitting here in Atlanta, and actually, I could feel your emotions, and we felt the same as well. See, I had two questions. One is, when you think of gopis in the modern context, do you think of them as a conjugal partner to a person, or how do you conceptualize Krishna and the gopis and their relationship? Number one. Number two is, again, when Perumal in the human form kills people, it is considered giving them moksha instead of, the act of killing and destroying. So these are the two questions I have.
What was the second question?
So when Kamsa, when he kills, it is actually, my understanding is it is thought of as giving moksha to them. So also like
Yes.
Vali, when Rama kills, so you don't think of it in the sense of the human killing. Am I right in that?
Yeah. So yeah.
And the first
we'll
one
go
is how do
by
you conceptualize gopis? Yes.
Yeah. So the gopis, Lord him, enjoys himself in two ways, Swakya and Parakya. So the Lord's conjugal love in Swakya Ras relates to marrying the queens of Dwaraka, right? That he observed in Dwaraka. The Lord had many married queens. But when it came to Vrindavan, the conjugal love of the Lord is not with his married wives, but with his girlfriends, the gopis. The conjugal love with the gopis is called Parakyaras. So again, we have to understand that he goes to Vrindavan where he enjoys this Parakyaras, which means Lord's even if you look at it from a material perspective, say for example, as lovers, you enjoy that relationship more, isn't it, than getting married to that person. The same person, if it were a lover, you would do anything for her. Yeah, you get me a big bungalow, no problem, I can get you a big bungalow. That lady is asking for some car, no problem, I'll get you a car. The relationship will be so smooth. You'll not even have any kind of fight with that person. But when you get married to that same person, you'll be in animosity, you'll be in hatred. You'll even condemn that person whom you got married to. So this is what is the situation when it comes to the material world. So the rust that they enjoy, Krishna enjoys with the Parakya is much superior than the Swakya rust. It is a relationship which is not like, oh, I'm married to him, so I have to do this. It is like, it is free. The gopis, they just do anything for Krishna's sake, just out of that love. The love is what is binding them. There is no regulative principle. Oh, I'm married to this person, I have to do it as a duty. There is no such thing. There is no such conception. It's just their pure love which is binding that relationship together. So that is what is Parakyaras. And Swakya is completely regulated, right? You are married to that person. Oh, I have to cook for him. I have to serve him. I have to make that plate ready for him. As soon as he comes, I have to take care of my husband, wash his feet, whatever. This is all done just because you have to follow that regulation of being a wife. But there's no such condition when it comes to Parakyaras. So that is why it is more superior, Anna. Hope that clarifies your first question. The second question, when it comes to killing the demons, yes, Krishna, whenever he kills the demon, it is only mercy. That demon is fortunate to be killed in the hands of Krishna. He's very, very fortunate because he's got that liberation. Krishna, he purifies that demoniac mentality in him, and then he gives liberation to that person. So it is only mercy when Krishna kills. You're right, Anand, with that aspect. Hope that clarifies your two questions.
That
Yes.
was a beautiful
Thank
talk.
you.
I really enjoyed. I appreciate your effort, and I'm very happy to say here that she is my daughter-in-law.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you. In spite of your busy schedule in India, I know you are the most busiest person, and we take your example in so many ways. Even little bit of whatever household activity that I do at home is due to your inspiration. It's constant engagement
Thank you so
of
much.
mother-in-law all the time. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much.
I had to pack up my outfit to sit here.
I know. So I think Lakshmika, we're good, I think. Hopefully.
Radhika, this is Manoj here, and thank you for inviting me. It was a fantastic journey. You always take us to these adventurous journeys. It was more like a 5T ride, and all the emotions you had, they were fantastic. I normally don't have that much of patience to listen, but I kept on, because you made it so interesting. So thank you for all your efforts. You was awesome, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you so much. I know it's early in the morning for us, but you have taken the time to attend this. Means a lot to me. It shows your love, and I'm really grateful for that. Really appreciate it.